Welcome to another A Member a Day through the holidays. I'm Jason Hafeman, your host. And today we're going to talk to Becky about Kula Yoga. And Becky, thanks so much for taking time to talk to us today. Tell us all about you, your business, and helping us find a little bit more of a mental calmness at this time.
Well, thanks for having me and thanks for doing this, Jason. So Kula is a Sanskrit word that actually means community of the heart and an intentional gathering of people. So when I opened my studio almost 8 years ago, I was looking to create a gathering place for my community and the people that were looking for a safe place to come learn yoga and so much more. So obviously during the pandemic, we were shut down, and I have chosen to stay 100% virtual right now since March 15th. It has definitely been a creative process full of ups and downs in order to reach and connect with the people that I serve. I'm used to having a studio full of people. I'm used to being able to get, hands-on and help people, guide people through classes. And that's just not safe right now. So pivoting within about a week's time to an online virtual model, figuring out Zoom like everybody else, and then teaching all of my yogis how to use Zoom and getting us up and running has really been challenging and rewarding, both, because I know that I can still connect with my yogis, and I can still deliver classes, and I can still see them, and they can still see each other, and they can still be in the studio sort of here with me, and as well as other teachers that teach from home, and trying to keep that connection that we're so at loss without right now.
So tell us a little more about how have you made that work? Like, what kind of things have you come up with? Was it right away you were just dabbling, or did you come up with a full schedule and a plan and just went for it? Tell us how that process handled.
So right away, I knew that I wanted to get some content online so that I would keep the engagement of my yogis and still giving them what they needed. I have people that come here 5, 6, 7 times a week for classes, and just to cut them off, I knew that wasn't going to work very well. So I recorded some classes right away and put them up, and I created some new tabs on my website with some free offerings, and I did a bunch of that kind of stuff and then sent emails out to get that. And then I figured out Zoom. And about, I think, a week after we shut down, I did my first live Zoom class in the studio. It was the strangest thing. I've gotten a little bit better at it now, but it was so heart-filling to have all the little squares of my people up on the screen, and to be able to lead them through a class in a totally different way that I ever expected I would be able to do. I'd have about a little more than half of my schedule right now, trying to keep it simple, and the times and such in the classes have stayed similar to what they were before, but everybody's schedules change, so we have to be pretty flexible on that. The other thing that has come out of this is that because I'm doing all these live streams, I'm able to record classes. So I have a whole new on-demand library where people can go and click on a class. So if they want to take a class at 2:00 on a Saturday afternoon, or they work the second shift and they wake up at 1 a.m. and they can't fall back asleep, they can go and they can click on a class, and they can take a Kula class anytime. And as of now, we just are reaching the 400 class mark in the on-demand library. So I have almost 400 classes in there right now.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But what a great addition, through the times you found kind of a really cool addition to your business and what you can offer people. About yoga specifically and what you provide, the wellness, the health benefit of it, especially during these times. I mean, just tell people again, why is this so important for us to be able to do as human beings?
Oh boy, that could go on for days, Jason.
Okay, sorry.
I'll give you the abridged version.
Okay.
And yoga is here to help us really connect with ourselves, and through that learning of connecting with ourselves, our body, our breath, and our mind, it just helps us to be more mindful and aware of what we're doing here in space right here on the planet right now. And that's actually what yoga means. It's union, to yoke, to put together. And it's the connection of our body, our mind, and our spirit. It's tools that we have that we can take anywhere, and we can use them to help connect ourselves, calm ourselves down, energize ourselves, keep our bodies moving. That's been the biggest part. People have become now more sedentary because they are working from home a lot. Their office setups might not be as ergonomic as they are in their office building. They might be hunched over a computer, at the dining room table. And it's just so important to keep our bodies moving and our breath and our lungs strong, more so than ever right now. And that's what yoga can do.
So I love your website and I love everything that you're offering to flywithkula.com, Kula Yoga
Yeah.
and Wellness. But Becky, when I didn't realize you had swag available too. Like, look at this stuff. Nice.
Yeah. Well, one more thing, we're trying to do some online store opportunities, and we usually have things here in the studio, yoga mats and supplies and sweatshirts and things like that. So yeah, I had to again pivot that to find a way to offer some of those things online. So I have a sale that's wrapping up soon here, but I'll have some more merchandise online as well.
And as far as social media goes, where were you most active? Where can people find out more about you that way?
I think Facebook, Instagram are probably the easiest places to find us. And through there, you can find our website, which is flywithkula.com. The fly is kind of an interesting you can't really see the studio where I am right now, but I actually specialize in aerial yoga, which has hammocks that hang from the silks. You probably saw some of those pictures online, which that is not something that I have figured out how to do virtual yet, because the equipment does not exist in the yogis' houses. It's all hanging around me in here. But we're doing the best we can to try to keep everybody connected and even and making good decisions and healthy. And it really came down to the fact that I know 100% that I can offer a yoga class to as many people as I possibly can fit on my Zoom call. And then there's a 0% chance that they're going to get sick. I'm so very grateful for all of my members and new people that are still finding me and joining in and helping to support my business. And keeping me going, giving me the energy that I need to keep on delivering quality content to everyone.
So Becky, this is obviously something you're really passionate about. How did you get into this? Decide to start your own yoga place?
Oh, well, that's a story that can go on for a long, long time as well. However, I'll give you the abridged version. I actually was a high school music teacher, and I loved the community of leading high school kids in musical performances and creating a safe space for them to be creative. My husband and I decided to have a couple kids, and I decided he's also a music teacher. So it made most sense for me to stay home. So I did a period of time where I did the stay-at-home parenting. And that was rough for anybody who's done that. Kudos. And I suffered from postpartum depression and undiagnosed for a long time. And yoga, by some not so gentle pushing of some of my friends, yoga made me feel better. And it was part of my healing path for getting back to figuring out really who I was. And every class I took, I felt a little bit better. And that manifested into, well, if it worked for me, it's got to work for other people. And it just kind of snowballed from there. And one foot in front of the other, I opened a yoga studio in 2012 here in Cottage Grove. And I thought, well, I wanted to build a community space once again, thus the name Kula. And I wanted to build a safe place for my community to be able to practice and learn yoga and feel supported in their journeys and their healing and their well-being, whatever they brought to their mats.
Wow. That's a great story and a great reason for launching that type of business and using that passion to do it. So thank you for sharing that.
You're absolutely welcome. People say, gosh, you were a music teacher and now you go to a yoga studio. That's such a weird, but when I start to explain it, they're very parallel paths. It was a community, a common goal, connection. All those things that I was trying to manifest in my music room are those things that I try to hold space for here at Kula.
One thing I've seen some businesses, and it looks like you have too, was find more ways to do something for kids right now.
One of the programs that I'm running right now that I came up with during the pandemic is called Yoga Recess. And thanks to support of local businesses and some grant money that I won from Larabar, which is a General Mills company, I'm able to provide a weekly classes for kids from 4K through high school at no charge to them. So I've been doing 4 classes every Wednesday with a team of my teachers, reaching out to our littlest of yogis all the way through those high school kids and really focusing on their social and emotional health and their well-being, as well as getting them up. And I know it's online, but at least getting them up and moving and breathing and socializing in this virtual platform. So we're ending our first series of that this week, and actually just picked up some more sponsorships that we will be continuing it for second quarter as well.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's fantastic. And it's another option for kids to do something a little different physically, but also that centering, the breathing, all that sort of stuff, a nice quiet focus, all that yoga presents, I think is fantastic. So thank you for doing that. Tell us about your space a little bit. So once we're free to come back there, what can we expect?
What you can expect when we can come in, much smaller class sizes, very limited space to keep people as spaced out. I deal with a population, a significant amount of my clients have underlying conditions and things that make it even more important for them to keep their distance right now. And I am 100% supportive of their decisions to stay home and stay safe. And I will continue to offer those online options as long as possible. But yeah, hopefully if we can just get on the other side of this and see some positive direction in our numbers and things like that, slowly be able to offer a few spaces in the studio as well.
All right, Becky, before we go, can you tell us one more time, where can we find you and find out about all your great classes?
Yes. So you can go to www.flywithkula.com. You can visit us on Facebook, Kula Yoga and Wellness, as well as on Instagram.
Thanks so much for your time, Becky, today and everything you're doing in the community. Stay safe, stay well, and take care.
You too. Thank you.
That's another Remember a Day for the holidays. We'll be back for another Dane Buy Local member feature tomorrow.